So we look now to the last, the Windy Gap Handicap over the 1650, another Class 2 event. The Irishman is on the class drop, ran fourth last time behind at Red Line. Bourbonaire, he won on the weekend, carries an extra £7 for it. Savaquin's coming back in trip. He's a three-time course and distance winner. Mr. Ascendancy has his second look at Happy Valley. Encountered has a great record course and distance. Cheerful Days has won 5 from 9 course and distance, but is really struggling this season. Talabagil, he's been to Happy Valley 5 times, but all over the 1200 metres. Sunny Star has blinkers going on, and Winning Dragon, a winner 2 starts ago, and ran fourth down in grade behind Prime Minister last time, Nick, as we see Winning Dragon finding the lead.
And look, he can do that, can't he? I mean, 5 runs ago, 3 starts back, he did go forward, and he's got a very light weight here as well, decent draw on 5, so certainly expect him to roll to the front. Encountered, I don't think will be too far away. He's drawn wide, so he's going to have to cross the face of the field here, but the horse on his outside, Bourbonaire, is another one that can show a bit of pace, and he's actually drawn 1 further out in 11, so both of those horses might try and come across, though the latter might be caught out a little bit deep. Everyone's Delight is another horse who can show speed. He's drawn well, Paul, in 3.
Yeah, exactly. And the Irishman's drawn the inside, so he'll sit a little bit closer. Thing with Encountered, he has won at Happy Valley from barrier 12 in the past leading, so we know he's got that early gate speed if Winning Dragon doesn't want to lead.
That is a look at the speed map for race number 9. Well, Bourbonaire won on stormy Saturday at Shah 10. To see how he's done since, Nick spoke to his trainer, John Size.
John Size, Bourbonaire was a winner for you on the weekend. You're happy to back him up quickly, but he really does revel in those softer conditions, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's won a race by 6 lengths in the wet track, and then he won again the other day. So that's what he's looking for. So hopefully we'll get some rain for Wednesday night. That might help him out.
First go around Happy Valley, were you always sort of wanting to bring him here, or was it just a case of where the races presented themselves?
No, at the end of the season, there's not a lot available for him, so we'll take him there. I think he might handle it all right. He's a reasonably quiet horse and he travels okay, so I think he'll probably be okay at Happy Valley.
New trip as well, coming back in trip. I mean, to some they might sort of label him as a sort of a stayer, if you will, in inverted commas, but coming back to 1650?
I think he finds the 1400 a bit short, but his previous race he ran well at 1600, so maybe he can compete. He's normally up in the first 3 or 4 in a race, so Happy Valley, it might suit him, we never know.
With a horse like him, John, that you are backing up quick, I don't imagine you do a great deal with them in between, do you?
No, there's not much to do. He just has a rest after Saturday, and then a little bit of exercise, and we go to the races.
He is owned by the Sue family. He was one of a couple of winners for them on the weekend. Their horses are going well, your horses are going well, so there's a lot to be happy with at the moment.
Yeah, well, I hope he can run well again. He's had a problem previously, but he seems to have come back to good form for racing, so he might win another one.
There he is, Nick. John Size on Bourbonaire. Does his winning chances depend on the weather gods?
I think so. Obviously, both of his wins have come when there has been a lot of mud flying. Obviously, we saw an extreme of weather condition there on the weekend, and the time he won before, he absolutely bolted up, and it was near bottomless. So I think he is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It helps him a lot. He obviously really relishes it.
There is some chance of rain on Wednesday night too, so you'll need to check the forecast and the pictures to see if the rain is falling by the 9th. We move on though, Paul, to a horse that you've had in quite often, the Irishman. Speaking of rainy conditions, in Cheerful Days, as mentioned, he's up in the ratings and just struggling with it.
Yeah, I can't have Cheerful Days. I don't mind the Irishman though. He's drawn nicely in barrier number 1. I think he's going to be sort of 3 back on the inside. Don't know if he totally enjoyed these conditions. He seemed to get through them all right, but he has raced pretty well on top of the ground as well. I thought it was a nice enough run from him.
Yeah, he's a winner on good to firm, so I think that certainly rings true. And look, he's downgraded, so he should find this a little bit easier than the Class 1 last time out. And look, to his credit, he has kept on quite well, so he's definitely the class horse in the race.
That is the Flying Red Lion, who made a back-to-back wins winning that. He's been back to the trials too, Nick, at Happy Valley since then, the Irishman. There he is, just in behind there. The other horse was Mr. Ascendancy. Now, he was being ridden along a fair way from home in this trial.
He was, under plenty of pressure, wasn't he, as we sort of take in this closing part of the trial. The Irishman, I thought trialled nicely enough, not being put under any real pressure at all. But Mr. Ascendancy, I'm wanting to reserve judgment on him for the moment. But
Yeah, it's an awful trial, really, wasn't it? I'm happy just to watch him go round, but the Irishman was a good run.
Yeah, just quickly on Mr. Ascent, his only run here was actually very good, so I do get him in on a minor line on that basis.
He carried 119 pounds, second in class, 226 in this race. We move on, Paul. Speaking of favourites of yours, here's another one of them. Encountered, loves the 1650, cheerful days. He's just about been in every replay so far. Savaquin doesn't miss too many Wednesday nights, neither does Berlin Tango, and everyone's delight had an excuse with mucus in the system last time, but that was after this race because he's been around on the all-weather.
Yeah, he has. Look, I do like this horse. I mean, he's had 4 starts for 3 wins, and he just got mugged late by Goritis in the other one, so he just loves it here over the course and distance. They took him through the 4-year-old series as well. He's just drawn wide, but he's got the pace to overcome it. He has won from barrier 12 before.
Yeah, look, he's got a wonderful way of going. He just keeps going, and he really does enjoy his racing. A bit more weight to carry, a bit harder here, but he's certainly a horse in form.
That run was back in April, Nick, so he's been back to the trials and he's had 2 of them. This was a trial around his favourite track, Happy Valley. Not quite his favourite distance because they trial over the 1700 of a weekday or weekend morning when they trial.
Yeah, I mean, we shan't split hairs over 50 metres, I suppose, but he didn't mind. Look, he went and won the trial. Derek was on board. Look, I think he's absolutely bounded clear to go and win this trial. I was mightily impressed, Paul. Yeah,
it was a really good trial. He obviously just really thrives at Happy Valley. He's one of these Happy Valley sort of specialists here, and this just backs it up. You can see there at Happy Valley, 5 starts, 3 wins and a second. But and just over the distance, 3 wins, a second and a third, so never worse than third.
And his jockey's 1 for 1, and that jockey is Derek Long. He rides for Manfred Mann. So that is Encountered. One more to have a look at here, Paul. It is Atala Begil. Now, we have seen him running on really well at Happy Valley over shorter trips. Sunny Star, he gets the blinkers on for the first time. His first few starts for Casper have been over at Shah 10. Yeah, so he's coming back to his favourite course here, Sunny Star, with a lightweight, barrier number 2. I'm going to include him. I just thought his runs at Shah 10 haven't been awful, and we know he loves it here at Happy Valley. And Atala Begil, I'm going to include him as well, because as you mentioned, this 1650 looks ideal for him. Yeah,
it does. Look, first go that he's going to run over this trip, but it would seemingly be a decent fit for him. And as for Sunny Star, well, let's not forget, he was actually placed in the January Cup, wasn't he, last season, I think. So he has got that bit of class and does like the Valley.
He does indeed. So that's a look at the breakdown, Paul, of race number 9. Your favourite's got to be on top, doesn't he?
Yeah, I like Encountered. So he's, I think he's just a genuine, honest horse. So he goes on top to beat the Irishman. Should get a nice run just in behind. Sunny Star with the lightweight and Atala Begil running on late. 7, 1, 11 and 9.
Yeah, I've also got the 7 on top here, Encountered. Look, he's in very good form and presenting fresh up after a really good trial. I think certainly we'll see him to good effect. The Irishman up at the top goes in, downgraded, good draw. On balance of form, it's some of the strongest on show. Atala Begil in for 3rd, and I'll throw Mr. Ascendancy in, sort of hanging my hat on that one good run here at Happy Valley. 7-1-9-6.